Hi there, we're Team 8 and we will be providing a third-party perspective on strategy recommendations for Night Swift Transportation Company to increase their performance and profitability in the next 5 years. Our team consists of Danielle Hupler, Sophia Rodriguez, Nicole Forsyth, Jocelyn Linares, Austin Schultz, and Joseph Vaca. In our presentation, we will cover mission and vision, SWOT analysis, long-term and short-term strategy recommendations, as well as a financial forecast. The objective of our suggestions is to increase driver safety and profitability while decreasing accidents and implementing sustainability practices and AI technology. When looking through Night Swift's information, we couldn't find a clear vision statement. We did find some company goals, but these were not as specific and measurable as an ideal vision statement would be, so this suggested one just shows some specific and measurable goals related to driver safety, sustainability, and profits that will be helpful to keep in the forefront of the company's mind. The mission statement that Night Swift has, we just edited it a little bit to add the companies or the groups that we're serving. So this includes our stockholders, associates, customers, suppliers, and our communities. So the strengths we found have been technological and AI implementation availability, as well as governmental support for sustainability technology. The availability of technology and AI has been greatly increased. We should take advantage of that. Governmental support for sustainability technology has made these options much more available and much more affordable. The weaknesses that we found have been socio-cultural shifts in the workforce demographic. So many people entering the workforce right now are not culturally inclined to becoming a truck driver. It's not as appealing to them. So there are much less truck drivers entering the workforce. At the same time, with the workforce demographic, in the next 10 years or so, many of them will likely be retiring, and there's not the human capital to replenish this at the necessary speed. The opportunities we've seen have been technology and AI, and as well as environmental sustainability. So in the external analysis, we mentioned these two, but this is that they're available and that there's increased support. So internally, we can take advantage of that and implement AI to increase driver safety and accuracy. And also we can increase sustainability just to be a more ethical company. And these practices, which we'll get to later, will also save us money and increase our profits. The threats that we've seen have been governmental regulatory risks, as well as weather-related hazards. So whenever truck drivers have to go across borders, sometimes they may have regulations related to the AI we would like to implement, and this may make it difficult, may cause complications in completing a delivery well. And the last one is the threat of weather-related issues. So weather's unpredictable, and this can also make it difficult and dangerous for drivers to complete their order well and on time.
Hello, my name is Jocelyn, and today I'll be going over near-term recommendations that me and my team found for Night Swift. All of these recommendations can be implemented within a 12-month window, so we definitely recommend that they do them as soon as possible. The first recommendation that we have is to conduct a technology assessment. The technology assessment is going to help with any problems that Night Swift is facing. One of the problems could be workflow automation, dispatch, product prevention. All of that will be highlighted if it is being ineffective. It targets any weaknesses, and again, it just makes it known to the company and provides us with that feedback. We recommend that we seek an external consultant for this evaluation in order to be as unbiased as possible. This process usually takes 3 to 6 months and costs from $100,000 to $200,000 based off market research. However, we know that the return will be over $250,000 saved each year, so it'll definitely be worth it in the end. Another strategy that we suggest is educating drivers on safety education. This is very important because driving 16-wheelers, these are very big vehicles, and not only do they put their lives in danger, they put other drivers' lives in danger. So it's important that they are as educated as possible in order to show Night Swift in a good light. They're representing Night Swift every time they're out driving, so it's important that they're driving as safe as possible. One of our biggest things is we found that most accidents are actually caused by fatigued or impaired drivers. So to help combat this, we found these devices called fatigue monitoring devices that we feel will be a really good investment for Night Swift. These usually cost anywhere from $800 to $1,500 and will cost roughly $3 million overall for Night Swift. We know that this is a high price tag. However, just between February of 2020 and 2022, there was over 300 accidents with settlements going from $70,000 to $100,000 per accident. That means that Night Swift is spending over $26 million in lawsuits that can be prevented. So we know that this investment of $3 million will be multiplied in the end. Our last near-term strategy is to implement new cash flow systems. This will help with the liquidity at Night Swift. So we actually found, again, in our research, that Night Swift has a liquidity ratio that is lower than 1. This means that if there were to be any debts in the near term, they would go under. So we definitely want to improve the liquidity ratio, and we can do that by implementing a new system that monitors it in real time. This will be worth it because we don't want Night Swift to, fail in case of any unexpected debt. So yeah, these are our strategies for the near term. I'll be talking about any far term strategies in the next slide. About the long-term recommendations that me and my team found. Most of these recommendations take anywhere from 2 to 5 years, just depending on what it is. First recommendation we have is to find a new mode of transportation. This is important because most of Night Swift's biggest competitors offer various types of transportation, whether that be air, ships, freight. They offer different types, and customers really appreciate the flexibility. We personally recommend that Night Swifts invest in freight transportation just because we found it is the most sustainable and it actually cuts emissions out by 80%. The implementation of this would take 3 years just because we have to invest in the proper technology and infrastructure in order to be able to properly track shipments. We also have to, research the companies and find a freight company that is able to work with us for the right price. The second recommendation that we have is to improve the transportation management system that we currently have in place. We actually did a little bit of research and found that there is a system called the Smart TMS that has much better reviews than the system we currently have in place at Night Swift. The reason why we say that this system is better is just because of the features that it has. Some of these features include order management, it tracks mileage, employee management, real-time reporting, and load optimization, all of which are very important to maximize our revenue. This system does cost around $500 a month. However, we will see a 5 to 10% return in revenue, and that is definitely more than worth it. The last strategy that we have is implementation of AI. Like I mentioned before, AI is very prominent in the trucking industry, so it's very important that we stay up to date with the latest technology in order to maintain our competitiveness. We have come up with a 5-step process that will ensure this. The first step of this process is the initiation phase. Basically, we just make a timeline of milestones that we want to hit for our company. The second step is data checking, basically making sure that all of our data is quality and it's up to date and it's all accurate. The third step will be metric selection. The metric selection, again, checks and measures all the data that we checked before to make sure that it's all valid. Step 4 is to create a platform assessment that involves a comprehensive analysis of all the functionalities. So it basically breaks down all of the functions of Night Swift and makes sure that they are all running efficiently. And finally, we have step 5, which is the outcome review that is measured by reviewing selected success metrics. Again, this just basically takes everything that the system finds and makes sure that we are implementing strategies to fix any issues that they found. This allows for more accurate predictive maintenance in the future because we're able to see what parts are not functioning to their proper level and fix them. These are all the recommendations that we have for long term, and thank you for listening to them.
Hi,
name is Danielle, and I will be discussing with you on this slide our baseline for night transportation, and then moving over to the right side of the screen where you're going to be seeing our 5-year plan for our strategy implementation, which at the end of this presentation we do hope you choose to go with, because we do see an increase in our net profit margin and an increase in our profit overall, our income. Everything is looking good. So let's start on the left side of the page. You're going to be seeing our titles from our operating expenses like our salaries, purchase transportation, ops and maintenance, insurance and claims, down to our operating income or our other expenses, interest income, interest expenses. You'll see through the numbers on our baseline that there is a decrease over time, and then if you move to our strategy implementation, you'll come to see that there is an increase overall that you're going to want to continue moving towards everything that will make these margins only grow further past the 5 years. In the pages to come, you're going to be seeing a few graphs that will go into a little bit more detail, breaking it up in a more visual picture. All right, on this slide, you're going to see the blue line as our baseline, and our red line is our strategy implementation. You're going to see the increase overall is 21%, which is over $2 million in our total revenue. Okay, and for our net income, if you follow again the baseline and to our strategic implementation red line, you're going to be seeing a 300% difference, which is a $3 million net income increase over the next 5 years. And that's amazing. That's exactly what we want, and that's what we want to continue seeing for many years to come. Wrapping up with our net profit margin, we're showing a 23% increase. If night transportation sticks to the net profit margin currently, a decrease will be seen. It'll be very evident within 5 years. With our strategy, there's going to be a constant increase, and clearly this graph is a nice outline to visually take in what the difference will be, whether you choose our plan or continue on the same exact track that is currently throughout night transportation. Wrapping up with our net profit margin, we're showing a 23% increase. If night transportation sticks to the net profit margin currently, a decrease will be seen. It'll be very evident within 5 years. With our strategy, there's going to be a constant increase, and clearly this graph is a nice outline to visually take in what the difference will be, whether you choose our plan or continue on the same exact track that is currently throughout night transportation. Okay, so our presentation has come to an end, and we really appreciate you taking the time to listen to what we put together and be able to provide all this data to you, and listening to what we have had to say about our SWOT analysis and our strategy that we hope you implement into night transportation. This should start, as soon as possible. This is a 5-year plan from now to the years to come, and we hope to hear great things. We hope you have a nice rest of your day and a great rest of your year, and can't wait to hear back with an update.